This is one of those, in hindsight, should have seen it coming outcomes. And I mentioned this last night during the taping that Maria Taylor, Tony Dungy, Jason Garrett, and I did. Cowboys now 4-0 all time at U.S. Bank Stadium. They need to call it Jerry World North. Cowboys undefeated. And my son went to the game. He and a couple of his friends made the trip. My son had always wanted to go to a Vikings home game. He picked that one. I didn't pick it for him. I didn't pick green. Didn't turn out to be green. Turned out to be black and blue for the Vikings. 40-3. And beyond the game being tied 3-3, they were never in it. The game started with a strip sack of Kirk Cousins. The Vikings held the Cowboys to a field goal, then matched it, which created the impression that, okay, maybe there's something here. But, it's the age-old reality. If you can't run the ball, if you can't stop the run, you're done. Because if you can't run the ball against the Cowboys, who were gashed by the Green Bay Packers just 1 week earlier, if you can't run it against them, you got to deal with Michael Parsons and company. Kirk Cousins was sacked 7 times in the Minnesota loss to the Cowboys. 7 times, career high. And he explained after the game, it's just part of the reality of the situation they were in. It started early, and then as they were behind and had to throw the ball, you're going to end up getting sacked more times. It's the pin their ears back phase. I still don't know what that means. I've been hearing that phrase all my life. You pin your ear back. You already have a helmet on that's pinning your ears back. But that's the saying that's become the accepted cliche when it's time to just go after the pass rusher because they're going to throw the ball and throw the ball and throw the ball some more, and that's exactly what the Vikings had to do. They fall to 8-2. 8-2, hey, you tell anyone out there that has any partiality toward the Vikings, you're going to be 8-2 after 10 games, they're going to say, I'll take that and run with it. But it's always that last game, that most recent game, that generates the overall vibe. And for the Vikings, to get smacked around like that at home, first of 5 home games in 6, to get beaten like that, that sets a tone. That sets a vibe. That's just not good. With the Patriots coming to town on Thursday night, and then the Jets after that, a couple of great defenses, maybe some more of what we saw on Sunday. If that Vikings offense can't get going, the defense isn't good enough to do it alone. They need the offense to score points. That defense, it hasn't been good all year. It rises up in select moments. It makes plays when its back is against the wall. And credit to the Cowboys. It reminded me a little bit, and you're probably not going to, at first blush, think that there's any connection here. It reminded me of Tebow Mania. I remember 11 years ago when every week Tim Tebow was pulling a rabbit out of his butt and coming from behind with the Broncos to win these crazy games. The only way to beat that is to knock them out early and put them away and create no opportunity for some sort of kooky, crazy comeback in the fourth quarter. And that's what the Cowboys did. 23-3 at the half, and then first drive of the second half, dagger with the 68-yard catch and run by Tony Pollard. Pollard said after the game it was a play that they installed specific for the Vikings, and for Vikings fans, it brings back memories of 2018 Vikings at Rams. Anthony Barr covering people much faster than him. Barr, coincidentally, now on the Cowboys. He was inactive yesterday, but you can't put a linebacker on Tony Pollard. Went for a touchdown, and that was it. 30-3, that's it. No magic left when it's 30-3. Cowboys move on for the win. They're now 7-3, and it sets up for a very, very exciting Thanksgiving. You got the Lions, who have won 3 in a row. You got the Bills, who are riding this high now of escaping Buffalo, going to Detroit, getting their win. We'll talk about those games coming up. You got Giants, Cowboys, showdown in the middle portion. And then you've got the Patriots coming to Minnesota, both teams over 500 for the nightcap. A game that when they announced the schedule in May, most people were like, Patriots, Vikings, Thanksgiving night. Well, it's football. It's on TV. We'll be in a turkey coma. Don't be in a turkey coma at any point. There's no point in the day on Thursday where you should be not paying attention. Every game is compelling. Every game has postseason implications. Every game has the potential to be a very good game until the Patriots are up 30-3 over the Vikings at halftime. See, I'm now back to being a complete and total fatalist. I think we have Myles. They're trying to say something to me, but sometimes I can't hear what they are saying over my loud mouth. There he is. Yeah, you are late. Right. I would do this if I had a watch on. Hello.
Well, I have a watch on, and I am late. You know, the technology here this morning has completely failed me. But how about them Cowboys, Mike? Man, oh man. Wow. What a I
completed talking about that game. You missed it. It's over. It's done. We're moving on to the game you attended. I changed up. Yeah, that's okay. I took my medicine out of the gates.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Man, I was so ready to come on here with that. How about them Cowboys? And the technology just absolutely failed me. That's the thing. I've had nightmares about, and I literally have, is that I'm going to oversleep somehow, my alarm, or the alarm won't go off, and I'm going to be like, da. But no, it's actually the technology that fails at this early hour. And so that's why I'm late. I'm not happy about that right now, Mike. I'm really not. But here we are.
It's okay. You're here now. It doesn't matter. You only missed 8-9 minutes of the program. No big deal. Nobody watches the first 9 minutes anyway. Nobody watches it at all, so it's no big deal. Don't stress about it. We're here. We're going to have some fun. It's football. Let's have some fun, especially as we quit talking about the Vikings game. We probably should say a little bit more about it, though. Dak Prescott was phenomenal. And in the aftermath of the Packers' loss, people were starting to say that Dak Prescott is the weak link. I suspect at some level that chatter made its way into the ear holes of Dak Prescott and motivated yesterday, 22 for 25, 276 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Myles, I was saying before you came on, and you may have heard some of this, the Vikings defense isn't nearly good enough to get the job done if the offense isn't doing it. And we saw how that defense just got exposed repeatedly on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a real blowout from cover to cover, and I did hear you talking a little bit about this Tony Pollard catch right there. I mean, when you install things specifically for an opponent and you can get to them and you execute them like that, that's such a good feeling on offense as a play caller, as a schemer, as a player when you're executing stuff like that. And you're right, it was reminiscent of that 2018 game that the Vikings had against the Rams at the LA Coliseum that I was at as well. And you just see, okay, yeah, this is how you scheme up things against that particular defense and how they work. You know, so when things happen like that and it ends up as a 40-3 win, it's like the Vikings were maybe reading their press clippings a little bit too much last week. You know, I mean, there was that video of Kevin O'Connell in the locker room and how he said this solidifies us as one of the best teams in the league. And then you go out and you get humbled. And boy, did they get humbled.
Let's have a listen to Kevin O'Connell, who acknowledges that he indeed did get humbled in what was the second worst home loss in franchise history. The only other one that went worse was a 42-point loss to the then St. Louis Cardinals in 1963.
Good Lord,
I wasn't even born then. That's how long ago it was.
How many
Here's
names
Kevin
ago
O'Connell
is
from
that
after
for
the game.
The Cardinals?
We're an 8-2 football team. There's going to be a lot of narratives about our team that we can or can't control, or we really can't control. We know that. We just got to look inward to our locker room. I felt I felt all along we've got the right kind of guys. We've got the right coaching staff. I do believe that we will respond to this the right way. But at this point in the season, November comes, and sometimes you can get hit in the mouth. This league has a way of humbling any football team at any point in time if you don't play good football. And we did not tonight. And we've got to learn from this and and make sure we move forward in the right direction and really trust that we're going to handle this response the right way.
When you come out of the gates saying we're an 8-2 football team, that's the equivalent of the Colts hanging the banner after they get blasted 45 to, what was the final score of that game? The Deflategate game, right? Well, you're trying all you can to find the silver lining. And I said at the top, if you tell Vikings fans that you're going to be 8-2 after 10 games back in September, they say, we'll take it. But not the way they took it yesterday. That is not the final chapter in that 10-chapter book to conclude that chunk of contest to start off the year. And they could be an 8-3 football team come Thursday night. Look, I took a lot of grief because when they were down 10 points in the fourth quarter a couple of weeks ago at Washington or at Maryland, I said they're going to be 6-5. They're 6-1 right now. By Thanksgiving night, it's going to be 6-5 because you're blowing a game to a Commanders team you should beat. You're going to go to Buffalo and get stomped. You're going to get beaten by the Cowboys, and then the Patriots are going to come to town, and Bill Belichick is going to do Bill Belichick things. He's got a mastery of the Vikings through a variety of coaches for the past 20 years. He doesn't lose to the Vikings, hasn't in a very long time. So now they got to turn it around to avoid one becoming two. That's the thing. Don't let one loss become two. Well, it's pretty hard when you get the SH-T kicked out of you. I'm being good since it's Thanksgiving week on Sunday, and then you got to turn around and do it again with all the distractions of the holiday week and feeling like what happened to us. How do you get it back by Thursday night? And that's going to be the challenge for Kevin Connell, a challenge he's never faced before. This is his first rodeo. He's got to figure out how to get these guys back into that vibe where they can win football games, Myles.
So, Mike, I saw the stat yesterday, and I was kind of perplexed by it. The Vikings are 8-2, and they have a negative point differential. How is that possible? How is that even like they're not a bad football team, but bad football teams are usually the ones that have the negative point differentials. And a lot of times you get those teams that are in the hunt, and we look at them and we see the graphic, and we're like, okay, which teams are real, which teams are not real? It's usually the teams with the negative point differential where you're able to say, well, there's something that's a bit of a mirage here with that team. And the Vikings are 8-2. You don't usually have, okay, there's some sort of mirage here with that team, but it's one of those things that makes me feel like, wait, I don't know. There's something there that's not quite right. And it's because the losses that they've had have been so lopsided. But I mean, it's what you've talked about too. They've had to find that rabbit out of their rear end, and they've been able to do it many times, but that means you're playing in close games, and it's great to win those things. But when you lose like that and you're at home and you're coming off a big emotional win, there's something that you need to examine. And the fact that they have, only a few days before they can play again, maybe a good thing or maybe a bad thing. I don't know. But we'll see what happens when they come out and they play the Patriots, because that is a huge game. Even though it's a non-conference game, it's still a very, very big game because of the national profile that they're going to have.
We all have that little voice. Sometimes we listen to it, sometimes we ignore it. More often than not, it's wise to listen to that little voice. And the little voice was saying to me, and I ignored that very wise little voice all week. Think back to the Minneapolis Miracle. What happened after the Vikings won that very emotional, uplifting game in the playoffs 2017? They went to Philadelphia and lost 38-7. It is hard to regroup after something like that. And when you consider that the game in Buffalo, I said this last week, it wasn't just a roller coaster. It was every ride in the amusement park jammed into one, and it would never end. You're yelling, stop the ride, and it's still going. And it ultimately ended up okay, but man, what a thing to go through. And then to have that euphoria and have to reload and refocus when everyone's telling you how great you are. And Kirk Cousins tried to say nothing's changed last week. Well, everything changes when you're the toast of the league, when you're the number one team in some power rankings, including those at PFT, the only ones that really matter. Since none of them matter, we can say ours are the only ones that do matter. It's a lot. And when you have the Cowboys extra salty, coming off of losing a game they should have won in Green Bay, blowing a 14-point lead, entering the fourth quarter for the first time in franchise history. I think the number was 195-0 when leading by 14 or more entering the fourth quarter, and then they're 195-1, you've got a reason to get refocused. You've got a reason to be pissed off. You've got a reason to say, hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to stop the run. We couldn't stop the run. We got to stop the run. Mike McCarthy said at one point last week, rushing the passer is a privilege that flows from the ability of a defense to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, you don't have the privilege of rushing the passer, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Yesterday was textbook simple football. Run and stop the run. If you can run and stop the run, you're going to win. And sometimes you're going to win by 2. Sometimes you're going to win by 37. But you're going to win if you can run and stop the run, Myles.
Yeah, it's very true. It's why that adage is, used as much as it is, because when you can control the game from those standpoints, that is how you're going to see those kinds of results. So, yeah, when Tony Pollard's running it as well as he has, and then when the Cowboys defense is stopping the run with Dalvin Cook as they did, the Vikings, I think, had 77 rushing yards. That's something where you're going to win most games like that if you can hold opponents to that few rushing yards, and they don't have, somebody like Patrick Mahomes, right, who can go out there and fire it all around the field, or Josh Allen with the Bills, and they don't usually run the football, and they usually win like that. But for most teams, if you can hold a franchise to that few rushing yards, especially one that prides itself on running the football like the Vikings do, then that's kind of the result you're going to get.
How about Tony Pollard, by the way? 80 rushing yards, 109 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns in a contract year.
Great game.
What do you do if you're the Cowboys? There's no way Ezekiel Elliott's on this team next year unless he dramatically restructures his contract. He wouldn't have been on the team this year. He did as a result of his holdout, and we fully endorse players who have the leverage to get the team's attention to do whatever they have to do to get paid. He got a contract that had rolling guarantees that would kick in a year in advance. A lot of these contracts, your salary becomes fully guaranteed if you're on the roster 5th day of the current league year, this year's salary. Under Elliott's deal, it kicked in last year. This year's salary got guaranteed last March. Their hands were tied. And there's no way. $12 million? No way. He's playing well this year, but not at that position. The math doesn't work. Too many guys out there, like Tony Pollard, who can play. And now Pollard, what are they going to do, Myles? The last time they had a really great performance from a running back in a contract year, remember when that was? Remember who it was? DeMarco Murray. They said, bye-bye. Sorry.
2014.
Yeah, bye-bye. And then they had a horrible year, and then they drafted Ezekiel Elliott. But they got a problem after this season with Tony Pollard. They're going to what are they going to do?
Though. I don't know.
Well, you're right. DeMarco Murray got burned. He got used up and burned up, and there was nothing left. With Pollard, because he hasn't been overused, there's still something there. But what do you do? Do you pay him? Do you franchise tag him? It's a tough decision they're going to have to make, because it's a position where you can go out and find somebody else who can come in and get it done.
It is. I mean, it depends on how well you trust your scouting staff and what they're telling you about these running backs that are coming out, and how you can kind of project where you're going to be and where you're going to fall. I think that no matter what, though, they probably should keep Tony Pollard. I think the more we see him and the more of a load that he takes, you can tell that he is able to carry that. Right. There were some quotes from Mike McCarthy a few weeks ago that were kind of like, yes, we see those two guys, and Zeke and Pollard, as both starting running backs, but it's very, very clear, and it has been clear for a while, that Pollard should be 1A and that Zeke is 2. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Just as you said, if Zeke goes out there and he has the agent who's negotiating a great deal for him, that's wonderful, because most running backs don't have that luxury. And there are still portions of the game where you can see that Zeke Elliott, like right there, is still an effective running back. When he can lower that shoulder, power his way into the goal line, that's something that's very valuable. There are a lot of teams that don't have that luxury of, when you are that close to the goal line, you can just have your quarterback turn around, and then that running back is going to find a way into the end zone. And that's the difference between 6 points plus an extra point and 3 points. That's huge. So, if we're talking about the future, I would say you want Tony Pollard for the future. But right now, when you have that running back tandem, you see how well it works and how those different guys can bring different elements to the game.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.